What's up, guys? It's me, Jeremy. We're going to be doing another late game commentary. This one's actually going to be jumped in 47 minutes in. That's actually pretty late. And if we take a look, you can see that we're about 4,000 gold behind, which is actually not very much at this stage into the game. And let's get started. So we're kind of just trying to group mid. We see the opposing team here is group mid. So we want to group mid. Also, I forgot to mention that this is a ranked 5s game, and I'm playing the blue side Morgana with my friends. And so we know that our Ziggs poke is really strong, and so we're trying to just try to poke them down and see if we can try to get something. So we get some good poke on the Orianna. I hit a binding which signals an Elise cocoon and then the Ziggs ultimate for the follow-up. That's some phenomenal poke there. You see the Nami and Orianna are totally chunked down, so we use our poke to our advantage, whereas the other team kind of just stalls out where they're not really doing anything. And they were probably looking for a push for the mid inhibitor, but since we have so much poke, that kind of play isn't really going to happen for them. So we're able to poke them out. Caitlyn's lagging a little bit behind, but whatever. And we continue our push down mid now that we know that we're able to chunk 2 of their players, which is really significant. So we're looking to take down this inhibitor here. And I'm just trying to make a play here. I go for a binding, get an amazing binding on the Lucian. We get a follow-up. I get a nice ultimate. Lucian's GA pops. I say go for the Nami. I got my spell shield, my Zonias. But take a look at our backline. Caitlyn gets destroyed. And Ziggs as well is getting chased down. And so at this point I'm like, oh shoot, we got dove on. Aurelia is able to still follow up, keep chasing. They have so much chase potential on us. The Ziggs ultimate does a good job of poking them down again. Orianna's Zonias does a great job of dodging and saving her life. Whereas Ziggs now, if you take a look, he's out of mana, so that's really bad. And so that overall fight there, I actually zoned in really hard on the Nami. And despite getting an amazing pick on the Lucian in the first place, I should have just backed off immediately after getting Lucian. Because even though Lucian, yes, he's their AD carry, and that's a great play, like, going for the Nami absolutely does not matter. Like, even if Nami died, the fight would have turned out completely the same, unless I didn't go for her in the first place. And so the opposing team is able to push for this inhibitor, and that was a pretty significant mistake on my part for that last team fight, where I kind of tunnel visioned on the chance of getting a pick, whereas our backline were going for the inhibitor, and since they were focused in on that objective, they were able to get dove on easily. And that's the thing, like, when you go for those kind of objectives like the tower and stuff, like, you're in range to get dove on. And so they get the inhibitor, and Elise is trying to get a consolation bonus prize here, I guess, and that's a nice escape, actually. Good job. Pretty good escape from the race there. It's a pretty creative play. And so they go for the chase in on the Wukong, and there you go, that's 1 kill. And so that kind of relieves a little bit of the pressure, but we still have an inhib down. And so Elise is still getting chased on here, but I know I can easily just find the Aurelia, and there you go. She's saved. But yeah, so when it comes to fights like that late game, like, when you're trying to take objectives like that, you have to realize that when you actually go for the objective, like, you are in range to get dove on. Like, when you're tunnel visioning on stuff like that, like, you're in range to get dove on, and that's not something that I respected. And the Wukong Orianna combo was really powerful, and so I was able to destroy Caitlyn, and then Ziggs was out of mana, so he didn't really have any options left by the time they were able to chase him down. And so that's the thing, is Orianna, you get so much utility from that. You have so much chase potential. And so if our, like, front line screws up, or if anything like that happens, exposing the back line, we're in a lot of trouble, because they can chase us down really easily with Orianna's speeds, as well as Aurelia's really easily can stick on targets. And so we know that our team fights are still decent, though, as long as we get some Ziggs poke on beforehand. So we're just trying to clear Baron. We know that we can't actually do Baron because, of course, the other team's, like, right there. So we're just going to look for some Ziggs poke here, and as well as Caitlyn poke. And that's kind of like the main thing, you know? Like, that poke late game is really significant. So we get some good poke on the Aurelia there. That's pretty significant. That's a good chunk. Get some more poke on the Orianna, and we're just kind of stalling. Like, we're just hoping to stall. Like, everyone on our team right now is just saying, like, don't fight, just poke some more, just keep poking. And so this choke point right here is actually really good. So we use this choke point really efficiently to deny their engage, because it's so easy to disengage from this choke point because we have the 2 Caitlyn traps right there. And so those traps allow us to get quite a bit of poke off. And then, but actually, if we take a look at our base, we have our super creeps pushing in from the original inhibitor. And so at this point, we actually end up becoming really indecisive. So we're not sure whether or not we want to fight or back for the inhibitor. So Ziggs, our main Fed carry, has like 15 kills, actually ends up backing for the base. And so we fight 4v5, which is obviously not something we're going to win. Elise goes down. We don't really have a chance, so we're just kind of backing out. And Aurelia actually teleports in. And so they end up actually pushing for game. And so it was the indecisiveness at the end there. And even though we were getting some good poke, and our poke play at the Baron was actually pretty solid, the fact is that we didn't respect like the inhibitor that was down. And so that actually ended up hurting us quite a lot. And if we take a look, like, that's the game. And so, like, overall, like, the reason why we lost that game was because, like, that first fight originally at the inhibitor where I made a pretty significant mistake, as well as, like, our team kind of followed up overall on that mistake too. And then as eventually that after we lost our inhibitor, that cycled into us being really indecisive. So when it comes to like late game, you have to be really decisive as a play. Like if we had chose to fight 5v5 mid lane, we might have had a chance because we did get some good poke onto them early on. Whereas instead we just have one player back and then the rest of our team stayed, and it just ended up being like a whole mess. Like on Skype at the end there, like we just had no idea what to do. We were just like, oh my god, what do we do? What do we do? We don't know what to do. And so is that like the indecisiveness? If we had all back for the Nexus, we probably could have saved it. Or if we had all stayed to fight, we probably could have won the fight because of the earlier poke that we had in the first place. And so it's that indecisiveness that cost us the game overall, as well as the earlier on team fight mistake that I made at the beginning of the play. And so that's just about it. You guys did request pretty heavily a commentary where I am on the losing side. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.